Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, about Shem, Yahweh Shai, about Shem HaKadosh. Yahweh being named Heavenly Father, meaning He is, He exists, He to be. Ba'in Ha-the Shem name, Yahweh Shai, being named Only Begotten Son, meaning He deliver, He saves, HaKadosh, Holy Spirit. Double honors to the Apostle, Elders, Great Most, never well, peace, blessed to elect Israel. Shalom and above all, back at it on the list of the Spirit of Power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, Lord willing, this video is edifying. And I want to do a land back, okay, or a response to, what one of the elder brothers on GMS Dallas, he did a lesson, be thankful, pretty much exhorting brothers to have the spirit of gratitude, even though we are in Babylon, to still, for lack of better words, count your blessings, man, okay? And I want to do kind of like a spin-off response to that, because it's a matter of being thankful for our being thankful for Yahweh Shemel Shai, but also enduring, our transgressions and our chastisement, taking it cheerfully, man, to the best of our abilities, because really the Lord could punish us way worse than what we really deserve, man. Okay. And the Lord has had mercy on us, okay, and punished us less than what we deserve, So this is Sirach Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That's right. So whatever situation that we're going through, man, we have to take it cheerfully, bear the indignation of the Lord cheerfully and with courage and with strength, because at the end of the day, we deserve way worse, man. So whatever falls upon us, man, we have to take it cheerfully, man. And I know in the present moment, it's not easy to do that. Like the Apostle Paul said in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, starting at verse 11, it says, Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. That's right. So the chastisement for this present moment, it doesn't seem to be joyous. When you catch a hell, it doesn't feel good. Okay, when you're going through pains or financial burdens or whatever the case might be, catching hell with your family, problems with your woman, job, so on and so forth. All right. It doesn't seem to be joyous, but it feels grievous, right? But it says what? Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruits of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Because the lessons that the Lord is teaching you while you're catching hell is going to make you better spiritually, man. So really, we should strengthen ourselves and rejoice when we fall into different diverse temptations, because it's going to help bring forth those righteous fruits into us, man. Let's say you're in a situation where your patience is being tried, your faith is being tried, and you're catching hell. Guess what? At the light at the end of that tunnel is what? You receiving more patience, you receiving more faith, so on and so forth. It would depend on what your circumstance is, man. So really, we should count it all joy, even though in the moment it doesn't feel joyous, okay? Romans chapter 5, starting at verse 3, it says, Not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of Yahweh Shemel Shai is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us. That's right, man. So, we are supposed to glory in these tribulations, because these tribulations are going to work those righteous fruits within us, man. Just like how, if you want to clean a pair of sneakers, you got to scrub them, okay, and put friction on them, all right? Same thing how in the spirit we're being cleansed and tried. The Lord's putting putting us through the furnace of affliction and the furnace of adversity, which is purifying us, man, okay, and making us better men in Yahweh Shemel Shai, even though in the moment it feels uncomfortable, but at the end, it's going to help grow forth that righteous fruit unto you. This is Romans 12 and 12. It says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation. Yeah, we got to be patient. Be patient with our change to a lower state, right? And what helps with being patient in that lower state is counting your blessings, taking it cheerfully, okay? Being thankful to Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know what I mean? It says, patient in tribulation, it says continuing instant in prayer. That's right. So we're supposed to rejoice in hope, man. Be patient in your tribulations. Continually praying to Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Okay, and sometimes you'll catch hell so that the Lord can make you cleave unto him more, man. You know, that happens. Sometimes you catch hell for chastisement of something you may have done wrong. So the Lord's showing you that he loves you because he's correcting you. And sometimes you catch hell, you know, just to make you better. You know, you ask the Lord for more patience. You ask the Lord for more faith. So now the Lord's putting you in a situation where that can cultivate. You see? And the scriptures speak about suffering wrongfully, you know, because sometimes you might go through a certain situation and you didn't necessarily per se do anything wrong in that particular situation or circumstance. Well, that teaches you patience, man. Okay, this is Acts chapter. The scriptures speak about, you know, if you suffer for your faults, this is, and you take it patiently, this is well in the sight of the Most High. This is Acts chapter 5 and verse 40. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua and let them go. So the disciples, the apostles, they caught hell. They got scourged for preaching Yahushua, man. Right? It says, and they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. Right? So be thankful. Be thankful that Yahushua is allowing you to suffer for his sake, for righteousness' sake, man. That's a privilege when you think about it. It may not feel like it in the moment. You may feel like, oh man, the Lord's arrows is against me. The Lord is through me. This, that, and the third. But really, it's a privilege to suffer for Yahweh Shema Shai. It's a privilege to suffer for well-doing. Because at least for the righteous, there's going to be a reward after all that. But for the wicked, they're going to suffer and they're not going to receive a reward. They're only going to receive that destruction. 2 Ezra 7, and starting at verse 18, it says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things and yet shall not see the wide. That's right, man. Okay? So that's the point right there. So the righteous, they're going through the sufferings, but they're going to receive the consolation. The wicked, they're going to go through the sufferings because of their wickedness, man. Okay? So we got to be in that same spirit as the apostles. You know, the apostles, they were thankful, man. They counted their blessings. They were happy to suffer for Yahweh Shema Shai. So we got to be in that same spirit, man. You got a lot of dudes who come to this truth and they don't want to suffer for the Lord. So they cast that stone of wisdom off of them, ere it be long, roughly paraphrasing, you know. A lot of dudes, they get bitter because they catch hell and they're not receiving the things that they want to receive. Yahushua's not coming back when they want him to come back. So they get bitter and offended, and now they don't want to be in the truth anymore, man. You know? But the Lord isn't looking for dudes like that. The Lord's looking for dudes who are willing to be faithful, man. Like a dog. You know, you punish your dog, you scream at your dog, okay? Your dog, at the end of that, in most cases, he or she is coming back to you like, you know, can I come back onto you yet? You know what I'm saying? Are you still mad at me? You know, your dog is still being faithful and loyal to you. So Yahweh Shema Shai wants those type of people in the faith, man. You know, who are still willing to cleave into the Lord, even after the tribulation, even during the tribulation, man. Because you got dudes who come up in this truth, they spring up because they're like that seed planted amongst the rocks. But as soon as that persecution comes, by and by, they're offended, man. The Lord ain't dealing with people like that, man. You got to be rooted in this truth through the thick and the thin, okay? Just like how you want the Lord to be with you through the ups and the lows, you know, you have to be with the Lord through the ups and the lows as well, okay? You know? Because everybody, like Scripture say, every man's a friend of him that giveth gifts, okay? So everybody's cool with somebody when they're profitable to them, right? But the moment a person can become, quote unquote, for lack of better words, let's say a hindrance, if you will, for lack of better words, that's when everybody want to do away with them. You know what I'm saying? So when the moment when Yahweh Shema Shai is inconvenient for your own personal worldly endeavors, that's the moment when everybody's like, well, I don't want to be in this truth anymore. The Lord isn't looking for individuals like that because you were never really a faithful friend, okay? But a true faithful friend suffering for the Lord will rejoice in that, all right? And we have to learn to practice that. Speaking to myself first and foremost. And I know in the moment you're like, oh my gosh, I know, you know, Scripture speak about how the souls are just complain continually. But there's also a balance. You know, you can also practice gratitude within all that too, because for everything that you're complaining about, you also have a reason to be grateful for, man. All right? Yeah, your car isn't working. Yeah, your tire popped, your car broke down, it ain't working now. You got to walk, but at least you got 2 legs where you can walk. You know what I'm saying? At least you're not in a wheelchair, you know? At least you don't have a certain ailment. Now, let's say you are an individual in a wheelchair, okay? Well, at least you're alive. At least you got clothes on your back. At least you have a roof over your head. You know what? Depending on your circumstances. You know your circumstances. Let's say you're homeless. Well, hey, look, at least, you know, you're alive. You're breathing. Okay? You know, the Lord is still dealing with you. You know, it depends on what your circumstances. You have to find reasons for your own personal things of gratitude, man. And that's balance. Okay? This is Acts chapter 5, verse 42, and it says, and daily in the temple in every house they cease not to teach and to preach Yahushua Mashiach. That's right. So we got to be in that same spirit. The disciples, they didn't just get offended or they beat us for the name of the Lord, so we're not going to push the Lord anymore. Nah, they still kept pushing, man. They were patient. They were disciplined. Okay, they gloried in their tribulations, man. James 1 and 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying your faith worketh patience. But let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing, meaning lacking nothing, man. Okay? So we have to be, you know, steadfast in this truth, man. Enduring in this thing. Okay? Count it all joy when you're getting tried and you're going through the fire. That goes to show you that the Lord is approving you. Okay? Let me get that scripture real quick. I think it's Isaiah 48 and 10. There's a few scriptures like that. Scriptures say how the trial of our faith is more precious than that of gold. Okay? Isaiah 40 and 10, it says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. That's right, man. Okay, so we're going through that furnace of affliction, and that's so that we could be acceptable on the side of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know? So this is really, is really a privilege to be doing what we're doing, man. All right, to be able to catch hell for the Lord. Because a lot of other people, they're going to catch hell, but they're not going to receive that reward behind it. Lord willing, we will. Okay? Just as we read back in 2nd Ezra. Salakia. All right. Well, let's go ahead and I want to touch on this topic also, basically, you know, bearing the indignation of the Lord, right? Because, you know, you could say, oh, I went off. Okay, now I'm going through it. I'm catching hell because I went off. And you could get bitter and you could not want to be in the truth anymore. But you got to be in that spirit where it's like, I went off. Whatever the Lord does to me, I deserve it. The Wadi Yahba Shemel Shai. Okay, so I want to get a couple precepts pretty much going into that. Okay? Because, you know, a lot of times you'll hear Jake say, I can't complain. You know, and that's twofold because, yes, you're right. You know, you can't complain because at the end of the day, we deserve everything that's happened unto us. Okay? But at the same time, you know, you can complain because of the wickedness and the sighing and the crying for the abominations thereof. Okay? But I want to touch on that. Okay? This is Jeremiah 30 and 15. It says, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. Because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. That's right. So because we went off, Yahweh Shemashai chastised us and judged us, man. Just like it says in the book of Baruch, we were sold into the nations, not for our destruction, but because we moved Yahweh Shemashai to wrath, man. Okay? That's what it is. So why criest thou for thine affliction? You know, why are you complaining for what you did wrong? You went off. So now you're upset at the Lord because he's judging you because you went off? No, you got to just take it patiently, man. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. All right, if you did something wrong, you learn to accept it, you own up to it, you confess your faults, okay, and you bear it patiently, man. That's the way it's supposed to be done. That's acceptable in the sight of Yahweh Shemashai. But you want to be weak and be all effeminate, you know, knowing that you did something wrong, but you don't want to have the accountability and you don't think that you don't deserve to be punished. That's not the right spirit to be in, man. This is 1 Peter 2, starting at verse 19. It says, for this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward Yahweh Shemashai endure grief, suffering wrongfully. For what glory is it, if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with Yahweh Shemashai. For even hereunto where ye called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. That's right. Okay? So that's the point. Just like how Yahushua had to suffer wrongfully, he took it patiently. We ought to do the same. You know, scripture saying in Hebrews 12 and 3, consider Yahushua, you know, who endured such contradiction of sinners, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds, man. So if you get weak, you become faint, think upon everything that Yahushua went through, man. Let that be motivation for you to keep going. Okay? How you going to be mad at the Most High for judging you for something you did wrong? You know? That's how the Most High gets down. And that's fair. That's completely fair. If somebody wronged you, you would want them to pay for it, right? Well, guess what? If we wronged Yahweh Shemashai, we got to pay for it. Okay, everybody wants justice until it's time for justice to be done unto them. Then that's when everybody wants to have mercy, right? But that's why you need to be merciful too. You want mercy upon you, well, you need to learn to practice mercy too. That's balance, but that's a whole another subject. Let me get this precept. Lamentations 3, starting at verse 38. Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Yeah, so the Lord is balanced. He creates good and evil, man. Okay, so sometimes the Lord will bring good upon you. Sometimes the Lord will bring evil upon you. Either way, you still ought to serve the Lord. Think about Job, okay? Our righteous forefather Job. You know, what happened when his wife tried to make him to go off? Let's get the precept. This is Job chapter 2, starting at verse 1. Again, there was the day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord, because Satan is the son of God. Satan is an angel on the left-hand side. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. Right, that's another thing too. Sometimes you'll get chastised. You know, Satan and the Most High might have a bet on you. You'll have your Job moment. You're still supposed to maintain your integrity because your faith is being tried. You're being proven to Yahweh Shemashai. All right? So certain times, you know, when you're catching hell, don't give Satan a reason to boast over you like, yeah, Lord, I told you he wasn't right. I told you he didn't really love you, Lord. Look, he's catching hell and look at him now. He ain't about you, Lord. Nah, you don't want to give Satan that ability to gloat over you, man. Okay, you want Yahweh Shemashai to boast over Satan like, look at my servant. And now really it's all the Lord's will, of course, but you know, you want Yahweh Shemashai to pretty much boast in you like, look at my servant. He catching hell. You betted me for me to pop his tire, make his woman leave, make his child be disobedient, this, that, and the third. You betted me against that, right, Satan? Well, now look at him. He's still serving me. He's still doing his lessons. He's still going out to camp, being faithful. He's still fasting and praying. Look at him. You know, and Satan gonna be like, all right, well, shit, let me try this, Lord. Lord be like, go ahead and do it. He's still gonna serve me. You know, that's how you want it to be done, man. Okay? So, read again, Job 2 and verse 4. Actually, let me read Job 2 and 3. And the Lord said to Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So Satan went from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse the Most High and die. Right, so his woman trying to get him to go off, man. But what did Job say? Job said, though he slay me, yet will I maintain my integrity before him. So that's the type of spirit you need to be in too. We all need to be in. Speaking of myself as well. We need to be in that spirit world. Even if Yahweh Shemashai puts us to death, we're still going to maintain integrity. We're still going to strive for the truth unto death, man. And the Lord is going to fight for us, man. All right? But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Yahweh Shemashai, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. That's right. Okay? So Job still didn't sin with his lips, even though he was still catching hell. Let me get another one. Job 1 and verse 20. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So we still have to praise Yahweh Shemashai even when we're catching hell. Still have to be grateful and thankful to Yahweh Shemashai and rejoice in tribulation, man. It says, in all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly, man. That's right. You don't want to charge the Lord foolishly. Oh, Lord, why are you doing this to me? Da, 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 da. When you can only see what you know as a mortal man. You don't know why the Most High did what he did unto you. You know, the scriptures speak about cleanse me from secret faults, hide me from from secret sins. There's certain sins that you don't even know that you did against Yahweh Shemashai. And you want to charge the Most High foolishly like he's doing something to you wrongfully, like you don't deserve it, man. And let's say hypothetically you didn't do anything wrong. Well, guess what? Still take it cheerfully, man. Okay? The Most High is a balanced power, man. Lamentations 3, starting at verse 38. Out of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins. That's right. How you gonna get mad at the Lord for what you did? Now you mad at Yahweh Shemashai because he chastised you because you went off? That doesn't make any sense, man. If anything, you should be thanking the Lord that he chastised you, because at least he didn't kill you, man. Psalms 118 and 18. The Lord hath chastised me sore, but he hath not given me over unto death, man. Lamentations 3 and 40. Let us search and try our ways. Yeah, you should really be examining yourself. Okay? And turn again to the Lord. You see? Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto Yahweh Shemashai. In the heavens, we have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger and persecuted us. Thou hast slain. Thou hast not pitied. Thou hast covered thyself with the cloud, that our prayer shall not pass through. Thou hast made us the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare has come upon us, desolation and destruction. You see? And see, that's what happened to us as a nation. But now Yahweh Shemashai is getting ready to return back our captivity, man. You know? But let me go ahead and proceed forth, right? Wherefore does a living man complain for his sins? How you going to complain for something that you did wrong? You got to be in this type of spirit. This is Micah chapter 7, starting at verse 9. Or Slakia. Yep, Micah 7 and 9. It says, let me start at verse 7, actually. Micah 7 and 7. Therefore I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the power of my salvation. My power will hear me. Yeah, that's the type of spirit you need to come in. Looking unto Yahweh Shemashai for guidance. You know, and for purpose. Waiting upon the Lord to justify you, man. Okay? Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. Right? Because, you know, Scripture says the just man falleth 7 times and rises up again. So sometimes you might go through a certain situation and your enemies might triumph over you because you've been brought down low. You know, but like it says, rejoice not over me, mine enemy. Why? Because the Lord is going to bring you out of that darkness once again, Lord willing. Verse 9, it says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. That's right, man. Okay, so that's what we are to do. And we better bear the indignation of the Lord and take it cheerfully, because guess what? Yahweh Shemashai punishes us less than what our iniquities deserve. Micah 7 and 18, who is a power like unto thee that pardoneth iniquity and passes by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again. He will have compassion upon us. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou wilt cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou wilt perform the truth to Jacob and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. That's right. The Lord's going to remember his covenant with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Okay, but in the meantime, we are to wait patiently upon him. Okay? You can't get mad at the Lord for something that you did, and now you're paying for it, man. Proverbs 19 and 3 says, the foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. Right. So pretty much when you read it in a different translation, this is Proverbs 19 and 3 in the NLT, it says, people ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord. You know, how you mad at the Lord for something that you did? Now you're just reaping the reward of what you've done. And now you want to get mad at Yahweh Shemashai because you were being wicked and now you're facing the judgment for it. No, you ought to bear the indignation of the Lord. Okay? This is Jonah 4 and 9. And the Most High said to Jonah, doest thou well to be angry for the gourd? And he said, I do well to be angry even unto death. Then said the Lord, thou hast had pity on the gourd for the which thou hast not labored, neither madest it to grow, which came up in the night and perished in the night. So Jonah was mad because the Most High took away that gourd that Jonah had, which that Jonah was facing that affliction, he was facing that chastisement, you know? But it was like, listen, you had nothing to do with that gourd. How you mad about the gourd? You see? You know, pretty much going into that same spirit. How you getting mad at the Lord for what the Lord does and his pleasure? You know, when everything that comes upon us, we deserve it. Because Jonah was getting stricken by the sun, you know, and he was growing weary and faint, man. You know, so the Lord, he raised up the gourd so Jonah got a little shade. Then he took the gourd away. You know, he prepared a worm. The worm devoured the gourd and the gourd got taken away. And then Jonah was mad again. But no, really, we're supposed to be in the spirit of enduring our afflictions patiently, man. Okay? You know, and not saying that Jonah isn't a man of the Lord, but this is just an example. Okay? This is Job 11:6. It says, and that he would shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know thou therefore that the Most High exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth. That's right. So the Lord, he be punishing us less than what we really deserve, man. Okay? So the chastisement that we do get, take it cheerfully, man, because really you should be getting worse. Speaking to myself first and foremost. Ezra 9:13, and after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our power, has punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and has given us such deliverance as this. That's what the Lord does. He's merciful, man. But mercy and wrath come from him. A lot of people think just because the Most High is merciful that he won't judge him. But no, he sure as hell will. Sirach, the 5th chapter tells you that. Okay, so knowing that, you know, we want to make sure that we're coming in the right spirit and we're staying on point when it comes to serving Yahweh Shema Shah, because we don't want, you know, to charge the Most High foolishly, man. Okay? So that's the point. You know, I just wanted to bring out a few precepts on that concerning that matter. All right, Abba Ratazah, this video is edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashma Shai, Bashma Kakwadash, the honor to the apostle, elders, great Muslim, never will. Peace, blessed to you like the Israel, Shalom, and the Bible.